circular motion. Let's start with circular motion. So what do we mean by circular motion? I say a person with cycle is moving on a straight road. So the motion on the straight road is nothing but linear motion. If he takes a curve road, so this is curvilinear motion. If the cyclist is moving along a circular race course, the motion along the circular race course is considered to be circular motion. So to understand circular motion, there are few concepts which we need to understand. First concept is nothing but a radius vector. What do we mean by radius vector? A vector drawn from the center of the circle to the position of the particle on the circumference of the circle is considered to be radius vector. The angle traced by radius vector in given interval of time from position A to position B. This angle is denoted by the angular displacement. Theta is nothing but S by R. So delta theta is nothing but delta S by R. So angular displacement is nothing but limiting change of delta S by R. Similarly, angular velocity omega is given by limit from delta t tends to 0, change in displacement per unit time. Change in angular displacement per unit time is nothing but angular velocity, wherein angular acceleration is nothing but change in angular velocity, that is limit delta t tends to 0, change in angular velocity, that is delta omega upon delta t. So radius vector is a vector drawn from the center of the circle to the position of the particle on the circumference. Angular velocity is nothing but limiting change of angular displacement per unit time, and angular acceleration is nothing but limiting change of angular velocity per unit time. Relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So now let us consider a circle, origin, radius vector, change in position of the particle from A to B. Delta theta is nothing but the change in angular displacement, delta S, this is R. Now as we know, V is nothing but limit of delta t tends to 0 of delta S upon delta t. But just now we discovered delta theta is nothing but delta S by R. So now instead of delta S, we can even write this as R delta theta. So delta S can be written as R delta theta. So let's substitute the value in equation. What we get is V is equal to limit delta t tends to 0. So instead of delta S, we have to put R delta theta upon delta t. R can be taken common out. What we get is V is equal to limit R into limit delta t tends to 0, delta theta upon delta t. So as we know, change in displacement per unit time is nothing but angular velocity. So V is equal to R omega. So this is the required relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So now as we know, V is equal to omega cross R. Let us go through the derivation of this. We already know delta S is equal to delta theta cross R in vector form, dividing throughout by delta t. So delta S by delta t is equal to delta theta upon delta t cross R. We know that delta S upon delta t is nothing but V, delta theta upon delta t is nothing but omega, and R written as it is. So we get V bar is equal to omega cross R. Now we also know that V is equal to R omega, and the value for omega is nothing but 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t. So V is equal to R. Instead of omega, we can substitute the value for omega, that is 2 pi by t. So what are we left with? We are left with 2 pi R by t. But as we know, 1 by t is nothing but n. So instead of 1 by t over here, we can substitute n. So V is equal to 2 pi R n. This is one of the formula where n is frequency of revolution. N is nothing but the frequency of revolution. Next concept with us is uniform circular motion, UCM. Uniform circular motion, UCM. So what do we mean by uniform circular motion? The motion of the particle along the circumference of the circle with constant angular speed is considered to be uniform circular motion. So what do you mean by uniform circular motion? Motion of the particle along the circumference of the circle with constant angular speed. So omega remains constant in uniform circular motion. Next part, we studied about UCM, that is motion of the particle along the circumference of the circle with constant angular speed. Next, what we have is time period. The time taken by the particle performing UCM. So I see this is the particle performing UCM. The time taken by the particle to complete one revolution, to complete entire one revolution, is considered to be time period T. So period is nothing but circumference of circle upon linear velocity. So T is nothing but 2 pi r upon v, where 2 pi r is nothing but circumference of the circle and linear velocity is v. As we know, v is nothing but r omega. So T is equal to 2 pi r. So instead of v, we can substitute the value for v, that is r and omega. R and r gets cancelled. T is nothing but 2 pi by omega. As we know, n is equal to 1 by t, omega upon 2 pi, which can be also written as v upon 2 pi r. SI unit of frequency is nothing but hertz, that is CPS or RPS. Now acceleration in uniform circular motion. Acceleration in UCM, there are two methods to find acceleration in UCM. First one is geometrical method, the other one is calculus method. Let's start the geometrical method first. Let us consider a circular path, origin and particle A to B. Initial velocities of A is nothing but P in this direction and B will be in this direction. Let us consider this to be Q. Angle formed is delta theta and this is radius vector r. Now construction is construct BR parallel to AP. So we will construct BR over here, which is parallel to AP, and we can join RQ such that again here we get a delta theta. Now we can see that in triangle BRQ, in this triangle BRQ, I can say BR plus RQ is nothing but BQ according to triangle law of vector addition. BR plus RQ is nothing but BQ, which can be also written as RQ is equal to BQ. This BR will go down and become minus BR. So we know that BQ is nothing but velocity of B. So velocity at B minus BR is nothing but BR is parallel to AP. As we know, BR is parallel to AP, so I can say BR is equal to AP. So BR is nothing but velocity at, if BR is equal to AB, BR will also become velocity at A. So velocity at A minus velocity at B minus velocity of A. So RQ can be written as change in velocity, that is delta V. Now acceleration is nothing but change in velocity upon time. So can be also written as limit delta t tends to 0, delta V upon delta t. In this triangle, that is BRQ, delta theta can be written as RQ upon BR. So delta theta is equal to RQ, the value for RQ is nothing but delta V and value for BR is nothing but V. So delta V can be written as V delta theta. Now acceleration is nothing but limiting change of velocity per unit time. So delta V upon delta t. So let us substitute the value for delta V, that is V delta theta. So acceleration A is nothing but limit delta t tends to 0, V delta theta upon delta t. Let us take this V common out. So V limit delta t tends to 0, delta theta upon delta t. So acceleration is equal to V, change in displacement per unit time is nothing but angular velocity omega. So A is equal to V omega, which can also be written as A, as we know V is nothing but R omega. So A is equal to V omega, instead of V we can put V is equal to R omega, which comes up to be A is nothing but R omega square. We also know omega is nothing but V by R. which can also be written as A is equal to R V square by R square. R and square gets cancelled out. A is equal to V square by R. This is the value for acceleration according to geometrical method. Next part which we have is nothing but radial acceleration UCM by calculus method. So let us consider circle. I'll make x-axis and y-axis. Consider particle P, x comma y. Let us project particle P on x-axis and y-axis. Let this be point M, let this be N. With x-axis distance be x, with y-axis distance be y, and distance from the origin to the particle is considered to be r. Now I can see r is nothing but x plus y, but in terms of vector, unit vectors are I and j. So r can be written as ix plus jy. We also know that x is nothing but r cos theta, y is nothing but r sin theta. Substituting the values for x and y, so r is equal to I. Instead of x, I'll substitute the value for x, that is r cos theta plus j r sin theta. We also know theta is nothing but omega t, so r is nothing but I r cos omega t plus j r sin omega t. Now we know that velocity is nothing but dr by dt. So d by dt of r I r cos omega t plus j r sin omega t. Differentiating this, what we get is b is nothing but minus I r omega sin omega t plus j r omega cos omega t. Acceleration is nothing but change in velocity upon time. So d by dt of v, we'll substitute the value for v, that is minus I r omega sin omega t plus j r omega cos omega t. What we get is minus I r omega square cos omega t minus j r omega square sin omega t. Now let us take minus omega square common. What we get in bracket is I r cos omega t plus j r sin omega t. So I r cos omega t plus j r sin omega t is nothing but r. So A is nothing but minus omega square r. The negative sign indicates, that acceleration of particle performing UCM and radius vector are oppositely directed. Acceleration and radius vector are in opposite directions. Next part which we have is relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration. So as we know, A is nothing but limit delta t tends to 0 of dv by dt. A is nothing but dv by dt. V is nothing but r omega. Let us substitute value for V in this. What we get is A is nothing but d by dt of r omega, that is r d omega by dt plus omega dr by dt. R is constant, so dr by dt can be considered to be 0. So what are we left with? A is nothing but r d omega by dt. But as we know, d omega by dt, that is change in angular velocity upon time, is nothing but angular acceleration alpha. So A can be written as A is nothing but r alpha, and this is the relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration. This is linear acceleration, this is angular acceleration. Differentiating, we have the relation V is equal to r cross omega or omega cross r. Differentiating both the sides, what we get is dv by dt is nothing but d by dt of omega cross r. After solving, what we get is dv by dt is nothing but d omega by dt cross r plus omega cross dr by dt. So by definition, what we get is dv by dt is nothing but alpha cross r plus omega cross v. So A, change in velocity upon time is nothing but acceleration, is nothing but tangential acceleration plus radial acceleration. So now omega is constant. Value for alpha will be d omega by dt. That is, change in angular acceleration is nothing but change in angular velocity upon time, which is equal to 0. So A is nothing but equal to AR. That is, AT is equal to 0. So A can be also written as square root of AT square plus AR square. Next part which we have is centripetal force and centrifugal force. Centripetal force and centrifugal force. Now, centripetal force is the force acting on the particle. I say force acting on the particle performing circular motion which is along the radius and directed towards the center. The force which is acted towards the center of the circle is considered to be centripetal force. When the force which is acting away from the center of the circle is considered to be centrifugal force. Let us see some examples of centripetal and centrifugal force. So when object, let us first see centripetal force. When object is tied to a string, is whirled in a horizontal circle, the necessary centripetal force for maintaining circular motion is provided by tension in the string. So string, when whirled in a circle, the necessary centripetal force required for maintaining the circular motion is provided by the tension in the string. A car traveling along a circular horizontal road with uniform speed, the necessary centripetal force, when a car is traveling in a circular path with uniform speed, the necessary centripetal force for negotiating the curve is provided by frictional force, which is there between the tire of the vehicle and the road surface. Electron revolve in permanent circular orbit around the nucleus. So electrons revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit. The necessary centripetal force is provided by push due to or provided by the electrostatic force. I can see this centripetal force which is there, that is provided by the centripetal force. FCP is provided by the electrostatic force ESF, that is electrostatic force of attraction between the positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electrons. Examples for centrifugal force can be when car is in a motion and takes sudden turn. So I see car is in motion and it takes sudden turn. So I consider a car which is moving and takes a sudden turn towards the left. The car experiences an outward push. To the right. This is due to the centrifugal force acting on the passengers. Now, a bucket full of water is rotated in a vertical circle at a particular speed so that the water does not fall. This is because weight of the water is balanced by centrifugal force acting on it. Children sitting in merry-go-round experience outward pull as merry-go-round rotates around, or I can say about vertical axis. This is due to centrifugal force acting on the children. So these are some examples of centripetal force and centrifugal forces. Next part which we have is considered to be banking of road, a very important part. Banking of road. What do we mean by banking of road? Raising the outer edge of the road over its inner edge through certain angle, correct, is considered to be banking of road. The angle made with the horizontal is considered to be angle of banking. So I see this was the road surface. I raise the outer edge of the road over its inner edge through certain angle theta. Okay? And here I have a car with normal reactions acting on the car. So let us consider a car again. The weight of the car coming down, a normal reaction over here, frictional force with the tire, or I can say frictional force between the tire and the surface of the road. Let us elaborate the diagram more and understand it. So I say normal reaction over here is m cos theta, force acting is mg, and f sin theta. Here our frictional force is F cos theta and normal reaction will be N sin theta. Let's elaborate the diagram more. F cos theta, N sin theta, this is N cos theta, this is F sin theta, and this is Ng. Here I have angle theta with frictional force F. Now I can say that N cos theta is balancing these two forces, so N cos theta can be written as Mg plus F sin theta. Wherein I can even say centripetal force is balancing these two reactions, that is Mv square by R is balancing N sin theta plus F cos theta. So which can be also written as equation 1 can be written as N cos theta minus F sin theta is equal to Mg, and this can be written as N sin theta plus F cos theta is equal to Mv square by R. Let us consider this as equation 1 and equation 2 now. So dividing equation 1 by 2, what we get is V square by Rg is equal to N sin theta plus F cos theta upon N cos theta minus F sin theta. Now Fm is nothing but magnitude of frictional force, where Fm is nothing but frictional force of the vehicle produced when Vmax, that is velocity, is maximum. Now, or I can say speed of the vehicle is maximum. Fm is nothing but μsn, where mu is the coefficient of static friction. This can be written as Vmax square upon Rg is equal to N sin theta. Instead of F, I will put plus Fm cos theta upon N cos theta minus Fm sin theta. So let's substitute the values. What we had was V square max upon Rg is equal to N sin theta plus, instead of Fm, now I will put the value for Fm, that is μsn cos theta. In the denominator, what we have? N cos theta minus μsn sin theta. Taking n common from both the sides and cancelling n out, what we are left with is sin theta plus μs cos theta upon cos theta minus μs sin theta is nothing but V square max upon Rg. V square max upon Rg. Now what we can do is, dividing numerator and denominator by cos theta, what we get is sin theta upon cos theta is tan theta plus cos theta upon cos theta is 1, so we are only left with μs over here. Cos theta upon cos theta is 1 minus, we are only left with μs sin upon cos is tan, so we are left with this. Tan theta plus μs, 1 minus μs tan theta is nothing but V square max upon Rg. Now Rg will come here, and what we get is V max square is nothing but Rg into tan theta plus μs upon 1 minus μs tan theta. Now square will come this side, and this will become V max is nothing but square root of Rg into tan theta plus μs upon 1 minus μs tan theta. Curved horizontal road, theta becomes 0. So if theta will become 0, equation, I say this is equation 3. Equation 3 changes to V max is nothing but square root of mu Rg. But if μs becomes 0, the equation 3 changes to V max is nothing but square root of Rg tan theta. So what we get is V square is nothing but Rg tan theta. So to find angle of banking, this can be written as V square upon Rg is nothing but tan theta, which can be also written as theta is nothing but tan inverse of V square upon Rg. So this is the final equation for angle of banking. Next part which we have is considered to be conical pendulum. The next part which we have is conical pendulum. So what do we mean by conical pendulum? Conical pendulum is nothing but a simple pendulum. It is a simple pendulum whose bob describes a horizontal circle. the bob of the conical pendulum will describe a horizontal circle and string will describe a vertical cone. So we can see that a string is describing a vertical cone and the bob is describing a horizontal circle. So let us understand the diagram in more detail. I consider tension in the string T in two components, T cos theta. Here we have mg. Here we have T sin theta. This is theta. The distance is L. This distance is h. Now T cos theta is nothing but mg, as T cos theta is balancing mg, and T sin theta is nothing but mv square by r, as that is the centripetal force of attraction. Dividing one into, what we get is tan theta sin theta upon cos theta will give us tan theta is nothing but v square by rg. So linear speed can be obtained like this: v square is nothing but rg tan theta, and v is nothing but square root of rg tan theta. But we also know that v is nothing but r omega. So instead of this v, I can substitute r omega. R omega is nothing but rg tan theta. So let us consider this triangle or this figure over here. What we get is tan theta is nothing but opposite upon adjacent. So opposite over here is this value, which is nothing but r, and the adjacent is nothing but h. So value for tan theta is nothing but r by h. So instead of this tan theta value, I will substitute the value of tan theta, that is r by h. So now tan theta square root, which we had over here, square root will come here. This will become r square omega square is equal to rg tan theta. So instead of tan theta, I can even put the value for tan theta, that is r by h, which comes up to be r square omega square is equal to r square g by h. R square and r square gets cancelled from both the side, and this is the angular speed of the bob, that is omega is equal to square root of g by h. Let us derive an expression for periodic time. Expression for periodic time of conical pendulum. Periodic time of conical pendulum, that is T1. So T1 is nothing but 2 pi r by v. T1 can be written as 2 pi r upon linear speed is nothing but rg tan theta. T1 can also be written as 2 pi square root of r upon g tan theta. Sin theta is nothing but r upon l. So r is nothing but L sin theta. So equation 1 which we have, that is T1 is nothing but 2 pi root of, instead of this r, I will substitute the value for r, that is L sin theta. This will become L sin theta upon g tan theta. So tan theta is nothing but sin upon cos. So after solving this, what we get is T1 is nothing but 2 pi root of L cos theta upon g. So if cos theta ka value, the value for theta is 0, cos 0 will become 1. So what are we left with? T1 is nothing but 2 pi root of L by g. Similarly, the equations which we considered. Now let us derive an expression for, this was time period, right? So we will derive an expression for tension in the string. So derive an expression for tension in the string. We already have two equations with us, that is T cos theta was mg and T sin theta was mv square by r. This was equation 1 and this was equation 2. Now let's square and add equation 1 and 2. So after squaring and adding 1 and 2, what we get is T square cos square theta plus T square sin square theta is equal to mg square plus mv square by r the whole square, which gives us sin square theta plus cos square theta is nothing but 1. So we are left with T square is equal to mg square plus mv square by r the whole square. So now I already know that tan theta is nothing but v square by rg, and value for tan theta is nothing but r by h. So r by h is equal to v square by rg. So v square can be written as r square g upon h. V square can be written as r square g upon h. So instead of this v square, I substitute the value for v square. So what I get is T square is equal to mg square plus m upon r square g upon h the whole square, which gives us T square is equal to, taking mg square common from both the sides, 1 plus both the sides, that is this mg, both the terms, I take mg square common. So I am left with 1 plus r by h square. So taking square root of both the sides, T is equal to mg square root of 1 plus r by h square. So this was the equation for tension in the string. Next topic which we have is nothing but vertical circular motion, VCM. So let us consider particle in VCM, vertical circular motion at position A, position B and position C. Position A with velocity v1, B with velocity v2 and C with velocity v3. mg and T1 is the tension. Here I have T2 is the origin O. This distance is r. Now, as we know, centripetal force acting on A is provided by partially by the weight and partially by the tension in the string. So centripetal force is provided by tension and the weight. So I can say that T1 plus mg is nothing but mv1 square by r. So T1 can be written as mv1 square upon r minus mg. Similarly, T2 can be also written as T2 is equal to mv2 square upon r plus mg, because weight at B will be added. Now, linear velocity that is B for object, or I can say V1 for object at A, or I can say at position A, object at highest position A. So let us consider highest position where the tension is 0, T1 is considered to be 0. So equation 1, that is T1 is equal to mv1 square, this is equation 1, equation 2. In this I'll put T1 is equal to 0. So what I get is mv1 square upon r is equal to mg. M gets cancelled from both the sides. What am I left with? V1 square is equal to rg. V1 is nothing but square root of rg. Now, linear velocity at lowest position B. So for B, I can write according to law of conservation of energy. According to according to law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. Change in kinetic energy is equal to change in potential energy. So now potential energy will be mgr minus mgr is equal to half m v2 square minus half m v1 square, which gives us, this is 2 mgr is equal to half m v2 square minus half m. We can substitute the value for v1, that is square root of rg, which gives us rg. Root and square gets cancelled, we are left with rg, which on solving will give us 4 mgr is equal to m v2 square minus mgr. Minus mgr will come this side and become plus mgr. So 5 mgr is equal to m v2 square. M and m gets cancelled from both the sides. What am I left with? V2 is nothing but square root of 5rg. So now linear velocity at midway position, that is at C, can be found out by kinetic energy at B plus potential energy at B is equal to kinetic energy at C plus potential energy at C, which gives us half m v2 square plus 0 is equal to half m v3 square plus mgr. So now what are we left with? V2 square is equal to V3 square plus 2gr. V3 square is equal to V2 square minus 2gr. So now V3 square is nothing but 3gr. V3 is nothing but square root of 3gr. So this is velocity at midway position. Next part which we have is energies. Energy in VCM. So the concept says at any position, that is top, midway or lowest position, energy remains constant, that is E is equal to 5 by 2 mgr. So energy of the particle in vertical circular motion remains constant, that is 5 by 2 mgr is the value. So E1, E2, E3, all three values will be 5 by 2 mgr. Let us do some special cases. Difference in tension at lowest and highest position. So T2 minus mg is equal to, this is special cases, T2 minus mg is equal to mv square by r, V2 square by r, and highest position will be T1 plus mg is equal to mv1 square by r. Difference will be T2 minus T1, which gives us mv2 square by r minus mv1 square by r plus 2mg. What we get is T2 minus T1 is equal to m by r v2 square minus v1 square plus 2mg. According to law of conservation of energy, potential energy plus kinetic energy at B is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy at A, which gives us 0 plus 1 by 2 mv2 square is equal to mg 2r plus half m v1 square, which gives us this plus m half m v1 square will come this side and become minus. So what we get is half m v2 square minus half m v1 square is equal to mg into 2r. So now v2 square minus v1 square is equal to 4rg. So T2 minus T1 is equal to m by r 4gr plus 2mg. So T2 minus T1 is also written as 6mg.